Hello. Okay, so this is being my first and maybe only YouTube video. I decided to make it after a friend of mine uh, suggested it to me because I enjoy speaking a lot, and here I am. So as for my first video, I figured I could talk a little bit about myself, but as I can be a little bit of an extra person sometimes. I didn't pick 5 or 10 facts about myself. I picked 50. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be posting more videos, and if I do, they're probably not gonna be posted regularly. I don't know what I should talk about as well. Maybe books because that's something I enjoy, but I don't know. Um, yeah. By the way, my name is Livia and I'm 21. Um, yeah, I think that's all I had to say. So let's get started so this video doesn't get so long. So, first fact, I have a harmonica, a flute, a guitar, and a keyboard, and I can't play any of them. And for some years now, I wish I had a kalimba, that instrument you play like this, and a ukulele, but I haven't bought them because I know I wouldn't have the commitment to learn. So yeah, but I think they're really cool. 2. My favorite flower is the hibiscus flower. There are a lot of those in my city and in my neighborhood. And whenever I cross paths with one of them, I have to stop and look at them and sometimes take pictures because they're just so pretty. I have one at home as well. I love those. Oh, I'm gonna be looking to my right because my facts are here, okay? Okay. 3. I don't have the skills or talent, but my interests involve writing and drawing, dancing, singing, painting. I like tarot or astrology related stuff. I like knitting sometimes, and maybe cooking, but only if I'm feeling inspired, and that's kind of rare. And I also like playing an online game called Toontown Rewritten. Yeah. So 4. I've been an active Scout participant for 5 years, and I feel very proud about it. I think I think the Scout movement is such a wholesome and just incredible movement. I think it was very important for my development as a teenager. I've nurtured many friendships while being there. I have many nice stories from that time. It was really awesome. 5. One of my pet peeves is people acting in an arrogant way. I just can't. 6. When I turned 15, my dad made from scratch a pottery wheel for me because I was interested in learning how to make stuff out of clay, such as mugs or bowls. And he simply made a pottery wheel from scratch for me. And it was awesome. 7. I've had diabetes type 1 since I was 4. And something I wish people knew about diabetes type 1 is that it has little or nothing to do with your eating habits or obesity, stuff like that. It's the person's own immune system's fault. And yeah, and these people can eat food with sugar. So it used to bother me a lot when people wouldn't allow me to have a candy or something, because think with me, if you have a lollipop and a portion of pasta here, the portion of pasta will most likely have more carbo than the lollipop, you know. So it doesn't make any sense to don't let these people eat sugar, because at the end of the day, the lollipop and the portion of pasta are all sugar. So that used to bother me very much, especially as a child with some of my relatives. Nowadays, I just ignore it. I even feel grateful about it, about a relative bringing me diet soda in a gathering, for example, because, well, it means they care, it means they thought of me, and I've come to accept that it doesn't matter how many times I try to explain to them. Some people will just not change their opinions, and that's okay. But people can be very mean about it, and I've learned it very young, so I've tried to hide it almost all my life from my friends. So when I was 10, I went to a church sleepover, and I had to take my insulin by the morning, so I did it. When I came back, there were some older girls in a group. They called me over. They started making jokes about me having to take an injection, and they were just laughing like real hard. I just laughed and ignored, but it's just very mean. When I was around 18 or 19, I figured people would be more chill and mature about it, so I told my friends that I had trouble accepting the condition, and just shortly after that, they were like saying stuff like, "Oh, it looks like you're drugging yourself while you use it." So the insulin, okay. So yeah, I've gone to therapy because of that subject, but nowadays I just embrace this side of myself. I'm very chill about it. Yeah. 8. I've already studied in 5 schools and seven different classrooms. So yeah, I feel like that's because an avoidant tendency I have of trying to escape my problems instead of facing them. So whenever I was feeling bothered by a situation, I would try to change the classroom I was in. And that wasn't good for me because I have barely nurtured deep connections through my school years. 9. I've already wanted to be in basically all of the professions. I believe every profession is important to the community, and I can be kind of flexible in terms of interests, so I've already wanted to be in almost all of them. So I've already wanted to be a dancer, a scientist in general, an archaeologist, a flight attendant, a lifeguard, an engineer, a cleaner, a pilot, a cooker, a teacher, a veterinarian, a singer, and I don't sing, a babysitter, a fashion designer, and I'm anything but fashion. Basically everything except for an architect and a lawyer, for some reason. 10. I'm the type of friend who will be down for almost any type of program. Like, if I like you, you can count on me. As long as it doesn't violate my principles, of course. But yeah, I'm usually down for any type of program. 11. I separated 3 qualities about myself that, in my point of view. So first, I'm overall a tender and affectionate person. Second, I try my best to be an honest person. That's important for me. 3. I think I tend to communicate myself well, especially in a one-to-one type of situation. So I usually have no problems expressing my needs or discomforts or even compliments in a relationship, for example. And I know some people are prone to tell the other person their discomforts, but they are not receptive about the other person's discomforts. But I think that I am. I think this kind of talk is important in a situation, any kind of situation. And I mean, if I want to keep the person in my life, I tend to do this, to have this type of conversation. If I don't, I just ignore it and let it go. But yeah. Okay, so 12. 3 flaws about myself. First one, I can be lazy. I think I'm overall an energetic kind of person as long as I have the excitement. And of course, no excitement lasts forever. So when it fades away, sometimes I lack the discipline to keep the habit going. Second, I can be a very difficult person to be around if I'm feeling irritated. And I don't mean it, I don't mean to say it as something like, oh, I am this way, I was born this way, I would die this way. No, that's something I really try to work on, but yeah. And 3, I can be a stubborn person, and I think that connected to that, there's the fact that I'm someone with a low frustration threshold. 13. 13. I've been hospitalized many times in my life. The last time was when I was 11. I was camping. I had some problems with my insulin. I had some problems with my insulin diffusion bomb. So I ended up throwing up at a girl we didn't like much. But it was not on purpose. But yeah, this happened. I spent the whole night vomiting. By the morning I was taken to the hospital. I was so dehydrated they had to try like literally dozens of times to get me an IV line. Finally I got unconscious for, I don't know, a long time. I think I woke up in the intensive care unit and I spent about 2 weeks, I think, in the hospital. But every camp would have a winner. My group was the winner, so it was all worth it. I'm just kidding. But yeah, this happened. 14. I think I would totally like to visit every country in the world. I know I probably won't have the opportunity to do it, but I'd like to see as many countries as I can. I think it would be such an enriching experience, you know? Like getting to know new cultures, this type of stuff. 15. One country I've wanted to visit ever since I'm like 11 is Mexico, to see the Andean empires. I know the Andean empires are also located in other countries, but the thing is, I've read this book here when I was 10 or 11. It's called The History of the World by Roshan Dalal. She's a female Indian writer, so she basically wrote a summary of the history of the world in a non-Western, in a non-Eurocentric or American-centric kind of way, so it's very cool. The book has its problems, but it was very awesome for me at the time to read it, and in the end, it will tell the history of each country in the world. It's a short book, so it's not a very long history, it's very short, but it's very cool. And it's a book from 2010, so there isn't, for example, the history of South Sudan, but it was really nice reading at the time, and it got Mexico fixated in my head. I still want to go there. 16. I'll always have some anxious coping mechanism going on, such as skin picking, so I sometimes keep making stuff to my skin until I get hurt. I keep pulling out my cuticles, shaking my legs, and some other compulsions as well. That's a problem. 17. I think my favorite movies are Remember Me with Robert Pattinson, Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson, and there are two movies I really liked as a child, and I think they're cute, which are The Polar Express and Pooh's Heffalump. I usually enjoy movies that will either make you cry or melt your brain. I also like smart movies, but those are not usually my first options, you know? I love the rom-com, for example. So yeah, 18. I think I've already watched Wreck-It Ralph over 20 times. As I was younger, I made a competition with my brother of who could watch it the most in a week. I don't remember who won the competition, but I was invested. I probably still remember some of its lines to this day. 19. My first official kiss happened when I was 14 with a close friend of mine, but I actually had a stolen kiss when I was, I think, 13, I don't know. And at the time I got a bit angry about it because it had not been like the way I had planned it. But today I'm kind of, I mean, I don't think about it, but I think I'm kind of grateful that it happened because I know it came from a place of affection and not from bad intents from the boy, you know. The boy in question had a syndrome that would affect his development, his social understanding. So, and he was one of the sweetest people I've ever known, and I just feel grateful that he felt affectionate towards me. 20. My favorite genres of books are romance and fantasy, I think, but I probably won't read or won't love the fantasy if there isn't a romance, a spiciness linked to it, you know. And I also enjoy reading poetry a lot, and some older slash classical books such as The Sorrows of Young Werther, but those are not my first option as well. And I love the idea of reading self-help books, but for some reason they just don't catch my attention, and I've already read some, and I've already tried and abandoned other ones. But I love the idea. I admire people who can finish them. 21. I think I'm a very authentic person, so sometimes, especially if I'm feeling extra confident, I'll just be or wear or do whatever makes me feel like my joyful inner state of being, you know. So for example, as a child I used to go to school sometimes wearing colored locks of hair and glitter on my eyes, like, and you'd think it would stop as I grew up, but as a teenager I used to set my profile picture as pictures of me making silly faces. So yeah, I no longer go out dressed up as a fairy, for example, but I often seek moments and people who will make me feel like my joyful inner child again, you know, the playful inner child. And that I never feel more like myself other than in these moments. 22. My fictional crushes as I grew up were Peter Pan, the 2003 one, and Peter Parker, the Andrew Garfield one. 23. My love language ranked are presence, quality time, acts of service, physical touch, and words of affirmation. 24. The first gift I recall giving someone other than giving drawings to my parents was a sticker sheet, and by sheet I mean SHEET, from High School Musical that I gave to my swimming teacher when I was 3 or 4 years old. I don't know how a 3 or 4-year-old knew High School Musical, but I knew it and I liked it. I had a sticker sheet of High School Musical and I gave it to him because he very much looked like Troy. 25. I'll listen to ASMR like nearly every day to go to sleep. And my favorite type of ASMR is soft-spoken videos. I don't love role plays. I hate like tapping. I hate tapping. I hate whispers. So yeah, for me the most like the video doesn't even need to have to be an ASMR video, as long as the person is speaking calmly enough about any subject. I'll watch it and I'll melt while listening to their voice. Sometimes I'll even put like, but for this I have to be very desperate because it works 100% of the time. Sometimes if I'm really needing to go to sleep, I'll put like an online class, like a physics online class. It will work like in about 5 minutes. I'll be like, it works every time. 26. I overall have a great memory, especially for things with an emotional connection. So for example, I still remember some of my elementary school colleagues' full names. I just don't know why I'm like this. I'm just like this. And growing up, I found it very difficult to relate how easily people can forget commitments, for example, because I don't know, it just always felt strange to me because I rarely forget things that matter to me. 27. I skipped a year in school, so I was the youngest in my classroom. 28. I feel like I have more ease becoming friends with men than women. And like most of the time, like really most of the time, it has nothing to do with sexual or romantical intentions. It's just like that. I don't know why. 29. I really don't know if I'll have kids in the future, but for some years now, I've been really wanting to get a cat. I know it's not the same, but yeah. 30. Despite the fact I don't know if I want kids, I follow many mothers on YouTube and Instagram. They show their kids. I'm like, oh, how cute. I love seeing them. And I'm constantly watching videos from moms or psychologists talking about how to raise your kids better. And this is something I've been doing for a long time, ever since like 2014, I think. I don't know why I do it, I just do it, and I have some insights on it. 31. I can't do those cool body tricks some people can. Like I didn't come with the upgraded body version. I can just like open my nostrils, like and raise one brow. The other one I cannot. 32. Every Sunday, me and my family have a special dish for lunch, and that's a tradition I'd like to keep as I grow up. As I grow older. 33. I've already performed twice at the biggest theater in my city as a ballet dancer. It was not a solo or anything like that, it was just a group presentation, but yeah. And I've already performed in a talent show with 3 other friends of mine and my brother. We didn't have the talent, but we had the fun. 34, my favorite color is yellow. 35, I don't love watching TV shows because I don't have the patience, but I've already watched some and my favorite one is Modern Family. 36, very informally speaking, very informally speaking, I got self-diagnosed with trypophobia, which is basically when you feel distressed when you see lots of holes next to each other. So sometimes even seeing a beehive can make me feel bothered. 37. I love to smell good. I love good scents. So I like candles, air fresheners, and the cleaning products / shampoo aisles in the supermarket just feel like heaven. 38. My mom says as a joke that she's afraid of going out with me because she says that everything can happen while I'm out there. So not so long ago, I sort of got my mom's car stuck in the mud in a rainy night. So so what was supposed to be a 20-minute ride transformed into a 2 hours ride. I don't know, this thing just happened. 39. I'm usually not competitive for the simple fact that I usually don't care about the situations I face, honestly. But if I'm interested enough, I'm becoming the most competitive person you've ever seen. There was this time, I think like 2 years ago, I was in the subway station going down the stairs. I had to catch the train that would be on my left. I knew I had to catch the train that would be on my left. There was a train already parked on my right. That was not my train. Then a lady came to me and said, "Ooh, the train's already here. Do you think we can make it on time?" I don't know what happened. I just embraced the challenge. I ran for my life and I got inside the damn train. After I ran like 2 stations, I just was like, yeah, that's not my train. So yeah, that was very stupid, honestly, but I was very tired that day. Anyways, 40. For some reason, I grew up feeling very concerned about becoming the best version I could become for my future husband. So that had some consequences to my health. But a less severe consequence of this concern was the fact that I would train myself every day for a really long time to sleep beautifully, because I didn't want my husband to realizing I was uglier, because he was seen sleeping eventually. So that was a concern for me. That didn't work out though, because seriously, breathing through my mouth as I sleep is one of the, I think it's among the top 3 best sensations of the world. So my husband will have to deal with that. But it was something for a really long time. 41. I wasn't good in my physical education classes at school, but I was interested, so I would try to help the team. I was really good though at playing dodgeball, and I would totally play it nowadays if I had a group. But I was good at it not because I could throw the ball at my opponents. No, I was very good because I was very good dodging the ball. So one very common scenario that would happen in my physical education classes would be that I would be the only one remaining in my court. So they would either end up getting me because I was the only one left, or sometimes we would have to just stop the game because the bell would ring. It was very funny though. 42. If I had to pick a superpower, I'd pick the power of teleportation. 43. I think my favorite foods are soup, chickpeas, grilled salmon, and a very specific one that is spinach with scrambled eggs. 44. If I had the chance, I don't think I would change anything in my past because it all led me to who I became. I don't know why I said it like that, but it all led me to who I became and who I am becoming. I feel like I feel like I could learn from the people that have hurt me and from the people who I have hurt myself. So I meant from the people who I have hurt. So yeah. 45. Despite the fact I always try to be honest, I tend to be a people pleaser and tell people what I think they want to hear. So that's a problem. 46. About 2 years ago, I was in a church I had never been to, and the preacher spent a lot of time inviting whoever wanted to go to the pulpit and tell the church a biblical insight or a testimony, something like that. Nobody volunteered. The preacher was a very old lady. I felt very sorry for her and very bad. So you know that quote, be the difference you want to see in the world? I embraced it. I raised my hands and I went there. And let's just say it wasn't great. 47. My level of energy goes up as the hours of the day pass by. So I'm a sloth by the morning. 48. My guilty pleasures are liking corny movies, making goofy faces and sending them to my family and friends out of nowhere during the day, sometimes. And always noticing, I don't know if that counts as a guilty pleasure, but I always notice people's voices. I know I'm not one to talk because I don't have a very pleasant voice, but I really have a thing for tones of voices, and for me it's very pleasing to listen to somebody speak, not only because of the content that they're saying, but I don't know, because of their pitch, their intonations. Really like it. 49. I have the habit for some years now of separating tender messages I get from my families and friends, so I can listen to their voices telling me nice stuff whenever I'm feeling down or doubting myself or whatever. So here are some examples. I have audios, but I also have text messages, so let's see. I love you, Livia. I love you, daughter. You're always with me in my heart. I miss you. You're more than enough. All my time is yours. Stuff like that. I really like doing it. 50. I've had a dog for 14 years and he was my everyday companion. I left this one last because it's the most important one. So yeah, the video is already past 30 minutes, so I'm gonna stop here. So I don't know if anyone has watched it, but if you did, thank you very much and bye.